Sister Tina. A story by Evîl's heart. She crawled out of the abandoned well at midnight, covered in dirt and breathing like a wounded horse. Her presence made the atmosphere gloomy and cold. Her body was rotten from her waist down and her eyes were not in its socket. But under the heavy rain and fierce lightning, she kept crawling while holding her briefcase firmly, until she got to the school gate. She looked back saying, "I will take what is mine and kill everyone for what they did to me," she murmured while she kept going. She crawled out of the school gate and was hiding near the back fence, waiting for the students that jumped the fence every night to go out. 2 girls jumped out of the fence and were happily changing their clothes when Sister Tina came close to them, stretched her hands and touched them. They turned into black smoke and she inhaled them. Immediately she did that, her eyes returned, her skin became fresher and she became new and beautiful again. But she could still not talk but groan like a beastly creature. So she waited again for more girls, hoping she was not too late. After a few minutes, 3 more students jumped out. She did the same thing to them and she became completely human. She opened her briefcase and wore her nun uniform with her name tag, Sister Tina, on it. She waited until it was daybreak and walked to the security men at the gate. They quickly opened the gate for her. She walked straight to the principal's office and sat down. "I am Sister Tina, from St. Pius Monastery. I am on a visit to the diocese and decided to say hello to the sisters in St. Agnes Girls' Secondary School, which is my alma mater," Sister Tina said, smiling. The principal, Sister Margaret, was a very angry nun. She looked at Sister Tina from head to toe and shouted, "Are you here to help or do long introduction? If you are here to help, join the other nuns in their quarters and stop disturbing me with introductions." Because the principal was always upset and never calm to ask the right question, she assumed Sister Rita was a junior nun that paid them a visit. Sister Tina, who was upset, turned around and left. As she was leaving, she noticed that her hands were changing, so she quickly entered the toilet and met a student peeing there. She started chanting in a strange language. Soon, the student turned into a thick dark smoke and she inhaled it and felt better immediately. "I don't have much time, I need to hurry up and wake the other sisters up." She was talking when she saw a car driving into the compound. Mrs. Oho, who was bringing her twin daughters, Anu and Anna, to St. Agnes Girls' Secondary as transfer students, was asking of the principal's office. The principal was in her office discussing with the security men about the 5 girls who were missing. "We will wait until tomorrow before contacting the police," the principal said, and dismissed the security men. Mrs. Oho, who was in a hurry to leave her twin daughters in the school and resume her dream position in her company, rushed in and introduced herself while handing a fat envelope to the principal. The principal smiled and was about to talk when Sister Tina walked in. Sister Tina had felt a very strong spiritual presence in the principal's office, and that was what brought her there. Anu, one of Mrs. Oho's twin daughters, could see Sister Tina's true form. She saw hollow eyes and a body dripping dirty water with scars of cane all over Sister Tina's body. She screamed when Sister Tina came in. Her mother cautioned her to shut up, saying, "This is your school now, other kids are here, so better get used to it." All Anu's effort to explain to her mother was she had seen was useless. This angered Sister Tina and she started breathing like a demon again. She quickly ran outside to avoid being seen. As Mrs. Oho was leaving, she glanced at the back of the building and saw something very strange. She saw Sister Tina floating in the air. In panic, she drove out and wanted to leave. But after moving down a little, she parked her car and ran back to the school. "I must go and have a better look," she said to herself. She parked her car at a petrol station down the road and walked back to the school. She wanted to video what she had seen and she didn't want anyone to see her. When she returned, everywhere was quiet because the students were at the chapel for devotion. She tiptoed to the back and still saw Sister Tina floating and dripping dirty water. She screamed. Mrs. Oho's scream was muffled by Sister Tina, who turned her into a thick dark smoke and inhaled it. She walked back to the chapel and knelt down beside other sisters, praying with her eyes shut. Her major aim was to bring back her fellow evil sisters. She had to hurry, because she could feel that there was no time. To do that, she needs to push a nun into the well to enable the sisters that were trapped inside the well like her, come out. So, decades ago, Sister Tina was the principal of St. Agnes Girls' Secondary School. She was very spiritual and believed there was a way to communicate with the dead. So she started researching and visiting unusual places, seeking power and opportunity to speak to the dead. Then she finally succeeded. She got a powerful mysterious book filled with incantations on how to summon the dead. She started using it to speak to dead people. Within a short while, she influenced all the sisters under her. They all looked forward to the nights when they would speak to their dead loved ones. But there was a sister who didn't support what they were doing. She complained that they no longer prayed or read the Word of God in the school anymore. Sister Tina didn't like that. She wanted everyone to follow her obsession. So she and the other sisters pushed the sister into their well. The disappearance of the sister triggered serious investigation, which later revealed that Sister Tina and the others killed the missing sister. They were told to kneel around the well and pray for penance for 3 days, after which they would be punished for their crime. But instead of praying for penance as they were told, they all jumped into the well to show that they were not sorry. Before they all jumped, Sister Tina wrote on the wall, "I will return one day with the sisters to finish what we started and take over this school, because it belongs to us." The next day after they jumped, the diocese sent people to go into the well and find their corpse, but they were never found. So the well was sealed with prayers and planks. No one dared to near the well again. The diocese also erased the names and pictures of Sister Tina and the other sisters from the school's photo album. They believed they were cursed and should not even be looked upon. The only person who had their pictures because he knew them too well was Father Cornelius. He was one of the oldest priests the diocese, who as a seminarian accompanied the priest that sealed the well years ago. He was the only one who took Sister Tina's threat of coming back to take over the school serious, so he kept their photos in his diary. He visits St. Agnes Girls' Secondary School once in a while to inspect the well. Other priests had laughed at him for taking the word of an arrogant lost nun serious, but he told them he was only being prepared to fight when the time comes. On the 3rd night after her appearance in the school, Sister Tina was walking about at midnight, looking for any sister who is not spiritually strong to attack and push into the well, to enable her bring her sisters back. She saw the principal, Sister Margaret, making out with a security man on top of the well. Apparently, the principal was at the well because that was the only place no one will ever check nor look for her. Sister Tina smiled and made a shrieking demonic sound. The security man stood up, took his cloth and wanted to run away, but Sister Tina stretched her hands and squeezed life out of him, inhaling the smoke that he turned into. "Please don't harm me," Sister Margaret begged for her life, but Sister Tina laughed and started chanting in a strange language. The well opened and Sister Margaret fell inside screaming. Just then the sisters started crawling out of the well, shrieking and groaning. "Go into the school, it belongs to us. I told them we will return," Sister Tina said, laughing like a demon. Meanwhile the sisters and students were sleeping peacefully, unaware of the danger headed their way. They were on their way when they felt a very strong blockage. Someone was blocking them from going into the hostel and take what belongs to them. What or who could that be? Sister Tina angrily ran inside, but saw nothing. She didn't see anyone but could sense someone in pain. Someone stronger. She started searching and shrieking angrily. She heard her sobs from downstairs. Sister Tina quickly ran upstairs and heard Anu sobbing. Anu could feel her mother was gone and was crying. She was already discussing with her twin sister to run out of the school and go home to check if their mother was safe. Their father, who was a journalist, traveled out of the country for field work, so no one will notice that their mother was missing except them. Sister Tina managed to get to where Anu was, but was too powerless around her. Immediately Anu saw her, she covered her face and started screaming. She was seeing what her twin sister was not seeing. The hostel supervisor ran to their hall to check why she was screaming. She met Sister Tina leaving and wondered why she was there. She knew Sister Tina was just a visitor, and walking around inside the hostel at night was not her job. "I need to report to the principal, Sister Felicia," the hostel supervisor said. When she got the principal's room, she saw it open, but she was not there. She went to the chapel to check for her, yet nothing. She went to her office, still no result. Sister Felicia angrily returned to the office and decided to wait for daybreak. That same night, Father Cornelius had a scary dream about St. Agnes girls. He called the principal that same night too, but got no response. "I will visit the school tomorrow," he murmured to himself. Meanwhile, Mrs. Oho did not resume work after the weekend. Her office had tried calling her, but her number was switched off, because her phone was somewhere in the school garden, wet from the rain. Her office was only able to get in touch with her husband after 1 week, because he traveled. They declared her missing, and her car was found around St. Agnes Girls. The news of the 5 missing students, the principal and Mrs. Oho, became headline, and everyone thought some persons might be targeting the school, but Father Cornelius thought otherwise. Parents insisted that security personnel be deployed to the school or they will take their children away. So the diocese deployed security forces and they patrolled the school day and night. However, the evil sisters Sister Tina invoked out of the well returned back, because they could not survive without sucking life out of people. But Anu's presence was making it hard for the sister and even Sister Tina to operate. So Sister Tina, who could feel that their time was limited, decided to encourage the twins to escape. She called Anne aside and promised to help them out of the school. "I don't want your sister to see me, she doesn't like me that much." The other students and Anne felt it was strange for a nun to help a student leave the school. But being young and naive, they could only feel she was doing it because she was good and better than the other sisters. Anne convinced her twin sister to follow Sister Tina, as she was the only one who could help them leave the school and look for their mother. Sister Tina was doing everything possible to get rid of Anu, who was spiritually stronger than her. In fact, she was the only one stopping her and the other sister from achieving their goal. So when Sister Tina was taking Anne and Anu outside the gate to avoid the security personnel guarding the school from stopping them, Father Cornelius was driving in. He was in a hurry, but had sighted Sister Tina from afar and asked Sister Felicia when she came out to welcome him. "Who is that sister walking out of the gate? I didn't see her face well, and I don't think I know her." "Oh, the new sister, she is not important, she is just visiting us," Sister Felicia said casually. Immediately the twins successfully left and entered bus to go home. Sister Tina returned to the school. She walked straight to the well, but saw Father Cornelius there, holding a cross and holy water, praying to seal the well again, while a carpenter was sealing the well with wood, just like before. She was very furious and started shouting. Father Cornelius quickly turned to behold Sister Tina. He screamed and everyone within and around the school ran towards the well to see what was going on. Sister Tina started speaking in a very odd language, changing into her real self for all to see. The entire students were so terrified. Father Cornelius started praying from the book he was holding, but Sister Tina was just too powerful for him. She flung the book out of his hand and started pushing him into the well from where she was standing. Father Cornelius started shouting his prayers while holding on to things to avoid being pushed into the well. The sisters ordered the students, who were crying, to go on their knees, and prayers began pouring in. Meanwhile, Anu and her sister got home and, as they suspected, their mother was missing. She was nowhere to be found. The whole street was even filled with her missing person poster. Anu cried bitterly. She wondered why her mother never listens to them. "I told her there was something off in that school, but she wouldn't hear." Their father was not even around when they got home and they needed to see him, but they also had to return back to school before the school authority notices their absence. Their neighbors told them their father was at the police station to check on their mother's disappearance investigation. They both left and ran to the bus stop to return to school. By the time they get to school, it was already dark. But Anu felt the odd atmosphere immediately they got to school. She refused to go inside, but the shout and cries of students were too much. She immediately ran inside and saw Sister Tina floating in the air. She screamed, and the Spirit of God took over her that instant. Father Cornelius was almost falling inside the well, and the students were weakly shouting and praying. Anu dragged Sister Tina down, and she was just as weak as she was when she first crawled out of the well. Everyone was surprised and was watching her praying and crying. She tied Sister Tina up with the cloths she tore from her body and threw her inside the well. She sealed the well herself, crying and praying to the surprise of everybody. When she was done, she fell on the ground and passed out. Everyone ran out of the school in fear, except Father Cornelius. He took Anu to the hospital in his car. The school abruptly closed for the term because of that incident. Everyone was surprised at the kind of evil spirit that was lurking around the school. The missing persons were not seen, even after 2 months of search. While Anu and Father Cornelius believed Sister Tina killed them, the police and the general public, even the church, believed they were abducted from the school by unknown persons. Anu later entered convent to serve God with her all. She later became a renowned exorcist, and was invited to any school that the church sensed foul or evil spirit. Some people are born spiritual warriors like Anu. The kind of evil lurking around in some boarding schools is real. Before going into one or taking your child or relative to one, pray about it.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.